Hi students, welcome to Social Studies online class. I hope all you are safe at home and I am thinking that you all are having eagerness to listen the classes and probably you all are watching the classes through the school YouTube channel links. And as you know that in the part 1 video we started the introduction part of the India Relief Features chapter 1, which is compromising completely to the geographical background of our country. So today in this class we are going to get the brief information about the 6 major relief divisions of our country. So the major relief divisions of our country, what they are consisting in our country into the various and different types of the land masses, landforms that we are going to learn, and we may conclude this chapter today in this class. So let us see the second session of this class can briefly into the details. We are going to start with the beginning part of the once again I want to remind you the geological background of our country. Geological background of our country, and let's see by entering into the geological background of our country and the 6 major relief divisions, we can proceed ahead to gain the knowledge of this chapter. To listen the continuation part of this chapter, we will begin and continue. This is the session of this video.
Let us we start once again from the geological background of India. World landforms originated from 2 giant lands, namely Angara land. Angara land is also known as Laurasia and Gondwana land. The Indian peninsula was part of Gondwana land over 200 million years ago. Gondwana land split into pieces and the peninsular Indian plate moved towards northeast and collided into the much larger Eurasian plate, Angara land. Owing to the collision and the immense compression force, mountains evolved through a folding process over millions of years. The present form of the Himalayas is a result of this process. So if suppose the question asked as what was called Angara land and Gondwana land. The northern part of Pangaea was called Angara land, which is also known as Laurasia. The southern half of the Pangaea is Gondwana land. Gondwana land is composed of the major continental blocks of South America, Africa, Arabia, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, India, Antarctica and Australia. The completely half of the southern part of the hemisphere is comes under the Gondwana land, and Gondwana land consists South America, Africa, Arabia, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, India, Antarctica and Australia. So this was the geographical background of the India. Let us we get into the details of Himalayas. There are 3 major divisions of the Himalayas from north to south, which consists in the beginning part of the Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. So let's we see the Greater Himalayas. Greater Himalayas also known as Himadri. The elevation of Greater Himalayas is 6,100 meters, not kilometers. So the height of the Greater Himalayas also known as Himadri. The height of the Greater Himalayas is 6,100 meters. Then next the middle part of the Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas. Lesser Himalayas also known as Himachal. The elevation of the Himachal is 3,700 to 4,500 meters. Next comes here the third part of the Himalaya, Shivaliks. Shivaliks also known as Himalayas, and the elevation of the Shivaliks is 10 to 50 kilometers, which constantly depending on the weather conditions increases and decreases, and have on altitude varying between the 900 to 1100 meters. See, remind that here Lesser Himalayas have different names in different regions. Which Himalayas have different names in different regions? Lesser Himalayas have different names in different regions. Let us we see what different names Lesser Himalayas have in the different regions. Jammu Hills in Jammu region, Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh, Kachar in Assam, etc. And this part consists of the thick gravel and alluvium, and also you have to remind the valleys laying between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks, and Shivalik ranges are called as duns. What is duns? Question may ask as 1 mark. The valleys laying between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks ranges are called as duns. So these are the three parts of the Himalayas, Himalayan ranges and their elevations, which we discussed just now. Let us we see the Indo-Gangetic plains. The Indo-Gangetic plains. The Indo-Gangetic plains broadly consist of the three divisions. First one is the western part, second is the central part, third is the eastern part. The western part was formed by the Indus and its tributaries, the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Sutlej flowing from the Himalayas. Most of the Indus River basin is located in Pakistan. Most of the Indus basin is located in Pakistan, which means the majority part of the Indus River is located in Pakistan only, leaving minor portion of the Punjab and Haryana plains in India. The lesser part of the Indus River is located and passes through the Punjab and Haryana. The majority part of the Indus River is flowing completely in the Pakistan only. And now you have to remember that here, what are the tributaries of river Indus? Or question may ask, which was asked in the previous year, so name two tributaries of Indus River. Name two tributaries of Indus River. So you have to remind all the tributaries of the Indus. The tributaries of the Indus is Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and the Sutlej. These are the tributaries of the river Indus. Now we have to see the majority part of the Indus River flows in the Pakistan, and just 30 to 25% part of the Indus River is passes through the Punjab and Haryana plains in India. In this region, the dope features dominate the fertile land between the two rivers. So what do you mean by dope? Do means two. Ab means water. Ab means water. Dope features dominate. What do you mean by dove? If the question asked as 1 mark, dove means features dominate the fertile land between the two rivers. Dove means fertile land between the two rivers. Now here the western part which comes here, the western part begins by side of the Indus river, and let us we see the central part. The central part is known as the Ganga plain. It extends from the river Ghaggar to Teesta. This part is mainly spread in the states Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and partly in Haryana, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Here the river Ganga, Yamuna, and their tributaries, Son, Kosi, etc., are the drains. So these are the rivers which we are discussing in the Indo-Gangetic plains are perennial rivers. Perennials river. The Himalayan three rivers also perennial rivers. Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. These are the three rivers also perennial rivers only, which we can discuss in the brief details in the chapter Indian rivers and water resources. We remind that here the tributaries of Ganga are Yamuna, Son, Kosi, Gandak, etc. Rivers are the tributaries of the Ganga. So let's we see the third part of the Indo-Gangetic plains, the eastern part. Eastern part of the plain exists mostly in the Brahmaputra valley. This is also one of the Himalayan river, perennial river. The Brahmaputra valley of the Assam and the river Brahmaputra is mainly responsible for its formation. So the main part of these are the three parts. See, the three parts which was given in the Indo-Gangetic plains. The western part which has linked with the Indus river, which is also Himalayan river, perennial river. The second part is the central part which has linked with the Indus river, which was linked with the Ganga river, and the third part is eastern part which was linked with the Brahmaputra river. These are the three rivers also Himalayan rivers, and the rivers which are in the Himalayan region side, they are called perennial rivers. Now next let's we see the peninsular plateau. What do you mean by the peninsular plateau? The Indian plateau is also known as the peninsular plateau as it is surrounded by the sea. You know that what is the meaning of peninsula? The meaning of the peninsula is that the land piece which was surrounded three sides itself with water is known as peninsula. It is mainly composed of the old crystalline, hard, igneous and the metamorphic rocks. Large mountains of the metallic and non-metallic mineral resources are found in the Indian plateau. It has broad and shallow valleys with the rounded hills. The topography of the plateau is slightly tilted towards the east and the western and eastern ghats from the western and eastern edges respectively. The southernmost tip of the plateau is Kanyakumari. What is the southernmost plateau? The Kanyakumari is the southernmost peninsular plateau is Kanyakumari. The peninsular plateau consists of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands, Malwa Plateau. Malwa Plateau is located in which state of India? Madhya Pradesh. Malwa Plateau is located in which state of India? Madhya Pradesh. That you have to remind, otherwise during the time of map pointing you may get confusion. Malwa Plateau is located in Madhya Pradesh and the Deccan Plateau Most probably you know that the Deccan Plateau is the Telangana state. On the physical map of India, adjunct to and south of the Gangetic Plains and north of the river Narmada, you can identify the central highlands and prominent plateaus. Here are the Malwa Plateau on the western side, and towards the east there is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau is located in which state of India? Jharkhand. Chota Nagpur Plateau is located in Jharkhand. In comparison to the Gangetic Plains, the plateau regions is dry. The rivers are not perennial. Rivers are not perennial. Dear students, you have to remind that the rivers which are the side of the Himalayas, that rivers are called perennial rivers, which may not get dry in the summer also. And the rivers which we can get the peninsular plateau side, the rivers, the half of the one third part of the India is covered with the water only. So India is also one of the peninsula only. So here the three sides, which means like river Krishna, river Godavari, and the river Krishna, river Godavari, and these rivers are also known as not perennial, the peninsular rivers. The irrigation for these second crop depends on deep tube wells and tanks. Identify rivers that flow on the northern side of the central highlands. Chota Nagpur Plateau is rich in mineral resources. Chota Nagpur Plateau is rich in minerals. Chota Nagpur Plateau is located in the Jharkhand state of India. The portion of the peninsular plateau lying to the south of the Narmada and triangular landmass. See here the Deccan Plateau is, the shape of the Deccan Plateau is the triangle, and non-perennial rivers can depend on the rainy non-perennial rivers, and the most part of the plateaus depends on the rains only, and they cannot produce the second crop of the season because they does not have the water facilities. And the Deccan Plateau is the shape of the Deccan Plateau is a triangular land masses is called the Deccan Plateau. Satpura range forms the Deccan Plateau's north edge, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur range, and a portion of the Michael range are the eastern edges. Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and Nilgiris form western, eastern, and southern boundaries respectively. The block diagram of the peninsular plateau you can observe just, and there are the several times the question was asked from this chapter is, why do we often use the term Indian Peninsula? There was the answer which we are discussing since 8th class. What do you mean by peninsula? If you write that answer, that's it, that's enough. Fourth relief feature, the deserts. The most probably, if we come to discuss about the deserts receives very little bit of the rainfall. Like the Thar desert is located on the leeward side of the Aravalis and receives very little rainfall. So what amount of the rainfall will be received by the deserts? Like example, we have in our country the big desert is the Thar desert, which is located in the state of Rajasthan, and ranking from the 100 to 150 millimeter per year. The rainfall received by the desert area of the Thar is 100 to 150 millimeter rainfall only received by the Thar desert. The desert consists of an undulating sandy plain and rocky outcrops. It occupies much of the western Rajasthan. So western part of the Rajasthan is completely covered with the Thar desert. It has an arid climate which very low vegetation cover. Streams appear during rainy season and they disappear soon after. Luni is the only river in this area. There was the only one river is located near the Thar desert, that is Luni. These internal drainage rivers fill into the lakes and do not reach the sea. There was a little amount of the water source as the Thar desert, that is by the Luni river. Indira Gandhi Canal is the longest canal in the country. The length of the Indira Gandhi Canal is 650 kilometers. Waters part of the Thar desert, hence the several hectares of the desert land have been brought under the cultivation by the help of Indira Gandhi Canal only. At the time of Indira Gandhi, who was beard as the Prime Minister of our country, at the time Indira Gandhi Canal was constructed for the Thar desert and to the cultivate the farmers of the Rajasthan to get the water resources the irrigation, to get the good irrigation facilities to cultivate land. The Indira Gandhi Canal was prepared. Let us we see next relief feature of our country, the coastal plains. What do you mean by the coastal plains? Coastal plains, which means you know that maximum the coastal plains are that the areas which are the side of the peninsular plateau, near the states which are located near the water bodies, like near side of the Indian Ocean or the Arabian Sea, Arabian Ocean or Indian Ocean. So there the Arabian Ocean or the Indo-Gangetic plains, like where we were discussed, the states near water bodies, like Kerala is one of the coastal state, Tamil Nadu is one of the coastal state, Odisha is one of the coastal state. These are the coastal states. Bay of Bengal near and Arabian Ocean near that, the states which are located coastal plains. What does the coastal plains express here? The southern part of the peninsula plateau is bordered by narrow coastal strips along with the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast starts from the run of Kutch and the ends at the Kanyakumari. It is narrower than the east coast. This plain is uneven and broken by the hill terrain. It can be divided into three parts. The coastal plains are divided into three parts. Konkan coast. This is the northern part. It touches the Maharashtra and Goa. Where do you point out the coast, the Konkan coast between the Maharashtra and Goa? You can point out. And Canara coast. This is the middle part of the middle part. It includes coastal plains of the Karnataka. The Canara coast is located in Karnataka. Malabar coast, third one. This is the southern part, mostly in the state of Kerala. The Malabar coast is mostly the part of state Kerala. So these are the coastal plains. In the coastal plains, not about here, not asking about the coastal name. Regarding of the coastal plains, there may the chances to ask one mark question. Name two coastal states. So like that, the questions may ask, and the three coastal regions like Konkan coast, Canara coast, Malabar coast, which are passing through which states, that you have to remind here. Let us we see here. Next, the Bay of Bengal plains are wide and have a large surface structure. It stretches from the Mahanadi in Odisha to Kaveri Delta in Tamil Nadu. These plains are formed by the rivers Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri and are very fertile. These coastal plains are known by the different names. Due to this non-perennial rivers, the landforms are becoming the fertile. These coastal plains are known by the different names. Locally, Utkal coast in Odisha, Sarkar coast in Andhra Pradesh, Coromandel coast in Tamil Nadu. The coastal plains which are broadly by the non-perennial rivers are forming to make the land fertile. Utkal coast in Odisha, Sarkar coast in Andhra Pradesh, Coromandel coast in Tamil Nadu. Let us we discuss about the islands. The majority part of the islands which consists near in India is Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands. There are two groups of islands, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, stretched in the Bay of Bengal, and Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea. Andaman and Nicobar Islands Sea is an elevated portion of the submerged mountains parts running from the Myanmar mountain Arakan Yoma. In Andaman and the Nicobar Islands, Narkondam and the Barren is islands are of the volcanic origin. The southernmost tip of India is found in the Nicobar Islands and called as the Indira Point. So remind students, the Indira Point is submerged into the land masses during the 2004 tsunami. Lakshadweep Islands are of the coral origin. Its total geographical area is 32 square kilometers. This group of islands is famous for a great variety of flora and fauna, which means biologically and botanically, where the animals depends on it to consist and to graze the animals. In conclusion, it is important to note that there is a vast diversity in the landforms in which Indian people live. Some areas are irrigated by the mighty rivers flowing from the Himalayas, and some by the rain-fed rivers from the Western Ghats and its forests. Many places are located in the river valleys and the others in the mountains. So most probably the island groups are two, Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands, which are consisted completely in the Lakshadweep Islands and Arabian Islands. These islands are submerged mountain parts running from the Myanmar mountains, Arakan and Yoma. So after that, the main thing is that regarding of these 6 relief features of our country, map pointing you have to see, very essential in paper 1. The several times the map locations in the map pointing were asked from this chapter only. So let's we discuss the complete map pointing of this chapter. If we identify the map pointing of this chapter is, so observe here from the beginning part, see the distance between north to south in India map is 3214 kilometers, and see here the Indian Standard Time after 80 degrees in the northern part of India, in the above part of the Jammu and Kashmir, see there 80 degrees. After the 80 degrees there was a line which is passing from the middle part of the India, 82 end of E latitude. So that from there the Indian Standard Time is starting, and the distance between north to south is 3214 kilometers. If we start traveling from the Jammu and Kashmir to reach Tamil Nadu, so we have to travel 3214 kilometers, and the distance between west to east is 2933 kilometers. If we start traveling from Rajasthan to Arunachal Pradesh, we have to travel 2933 kilometers. It was the basic part which was given to understand the time zones, and let us we see the other map which is very essential for us. So here K2 is given. The K2 peak is the second highest mount peak in the world, which is located majority part is in the Pakistan, which is located majority part is in the Kashmir, and the K2 peak elevation of the K2 peak is, so if the K2 peak asks, you have to locate that in the Jammu and Kashmir only. The K2 peak height is, the elevation of the K2 is 8611 meters. So here next Zaskar range, which is in the Uttarakhand. Karakoram ranges are also mostly in Jammu and Kashmir only. Here Indian desert, which is located in Rajasthan. Aravalli ranges, which are also in Rajasthan. Malwa plateau is located in Madhya Pradesh. Vindhya ranges also Madhya Pradesh. Chota Nagpur plateau, Jharkhand. Kanchenjunga is the third highest mount peak in the world. The elevation of Kanchenjunga is 8,586 meters. The elevation of the Kanchenjunga, the height of the Kanchenjunga is 8,586 meters, which is mostly located between the Sikkim and Nepal. So if you are pointing Kanchenjunga, when it was asked in the map pointing, at that time you have to point out in the Sikkim only. Patkai Ban hills are located in the Meghalaya. Nainital hills, Chota Nagpur plateau, here Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. Next Anaimudi peak. Anaimudi peak is the highest peak in the Western Ghats, which is the highest mount peak in the Western Ghats. Question was asked as which is the highest peak in the Western Ghats, which means you have to write the answer Anaimudi peak. And Anaimudi peak is located in the state of India, Kerala. And Cardamom hills are located in Kerala state only. Cardamom hills are also located in the state of Kerala only. So this was the map pointing, very essential, which was asked in the several times. You have to remind this map in your mind. You have to draw this map in your imagination completely. What the things are given from east to west, north to south, the things you have to remember. And remind that the map pointing is the main hills, the physical features which are given, the mount peaks are given, plateaus, Chota Nagpur plateau, Malwa plateau, Aravalli ranges, Indian desert. These are the things are very essential for the annual examination, also for the other exams also very essential, and that you have to remind. Thank you.